As we do, we'll begin by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. We try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. But we also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And we begin to let go of attending to the outside world, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are without investigation, constraining our awareness just to the body and mind. Beginning to concentrate that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air as it moves into and back out of the tip of the nostrils, noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and then without judgment or frustration, lifting our awareness up from those distractions and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we generate a broad altruistic motivation, being determined to make use of this unique human, perfect human rebirth by recognizing that we have the capacity to achieve something greater than simply the happiness of this one life alone. We can go beyond striving for sensory enjoyment. That with this perfect human rebirth, achieving a state of genuine, perfect, lasting happiness, a state of complete freedom from suffering is possible. And wanting that not only for oneself, but wanting that for every sentient being, which requires that we ourselves gain the skills, the ability to lead all sentient beings into that state. I think the purpose of our time is to engage in that process of inner transformation, to gain those skills, those capacities, so that this life of leisure and endowment is meaningful. And then with that motivation, look at the energy of attachment in the mind. We looked at the uncertainty that arises due to negative karma in the last contemplation, and that uncertainty is often the result, that negative karma is often the result of the energy of attachment operating in the mind without limit. So the energy of attachment observes something outside of oneself that seems to be pleasant and regards that object as the source of one's happiness, and gives rise to the view that oneself must be constantly in contact with objects of attachment, never separated, that one's happiness is dependent on being successful in always being in contact with objects of attachment. If we begin to analyze that process, we become aware of something that the mind wishes to possess, to be in contact with, and therefore we engage in actions to bring that about. If we are successful, then a fleeting, pleasant feeling arises, and we label that as happiness. And then quickly the mind pursues a new object of attachment. And the mind feels unhappy if we fail to possess those objects, or we become separated from them. So think back over the last few weeks. How many times in a day, in a week, is this energy of attachment running the show? We engage in this process because we believe that pursuing objects of attachment is responsible for our happiness. And if we look at one or two of those examples in our lives, can we notice that the arising of attachment is unpeaceful, is an agitated state of mind, driven by the view of not having enough? And how often does the mind quickly move into further boredom, further agitation, due to the fleeting nature of that pleasurable experience? Through analysis, can we arrive at an understanding that attachment is the source of suffering? And energizing this perspective gives rise to tendencies and habits that just fuel dissatisfaction. On what level do we understand that a genuine happiness, a happiness that arises from the mind itself, is possible? And do we understand that cultivating that happiness depends upon becoming more and more aware of the ways in which we are deceived by the mind of attachment, choosing not to follow those impulses? But to think of the freedom in the mind that would exist if we weren't driven by the mind of attachment. The deep, tranquil peace of mind that would be available in every moment. begin to recognize that this process depends upon developing a realistic view of these objects of attachment, not seeing them as responsible for one's happiness, seeing them holistically, recognizing their shortcomings. So try to think in your own life of a couple objects of attachment that seem to come up again and again. And try to begin to see them holistically, not through a momentary impulse, but with wisdom. Is it true that being in possession of these objects can make me happy? Is my returning to these objects again and again and again responsible for unhappiness, agitation? Try to give rise to a determination in the mind to notice the energy of attachment as it's arising, and to interrupt the process of following the energy of attachment, not because one wishes to deny happiness, but because one wishes to pursue genuine happiness. And generate that determination strongly in the mind and concentrate without distraction on that intention. When you're ready, we'll come back together and we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation. I think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in the mind. I think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy, for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking strongly when that positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve this state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles to the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.